lu tuuti lu bari wusi coronavirus lu law la jàngoro bi ak a dëgër boppa nga la jox ma sa noppa corona can be transferred to another. If a person sneezes, that doesn't mean the person has it.
Alaikum salam. Sen fan bi ñaata la?
Abi.
Ah, comme yele la.
Sorry, soxna si balal ma.
Ah,
balal ma. Cek la bala ngay def.
Nga gele nañu xé corona.
Lo gis?
Mu ngi
Maay normal. Yow de yow yàlla rek la fay. Yow foo amee li? Mun dama am ay bérébu liggéeykaay yu bare. Te dama bëgg a saytu suma liggéeykat yi seen wér gu yaram.
Dëgg la.
Te lii dama ko war a am. Ut naa ko fu nekk mënuma koo am.
Gis nga lii nag am ko yóbbu na de.
Ah?
Mu ngi fi.
Lii foo ko amee yow?
Gis nga bu fekkee da nga koo soxla.
Waaw.
Dawal Kairaba Avenue. Boo jógee Westfield mel ni kuy dem Kairaba Avenue.
Waaw.
Booy rombu Alliance Franco rek.
Waaw.
Rombu AIC.
Waaw.
Building bi ci topp.
Waaw.
ñu koy wax smartphone house.
Waaw.
Boo fa duggee rek loo ci soxla ñu jaay la ko.
Yow man foofu dinaa ci mën a am lu bari lu tolloog fukka.
Loo ci soxla ñu jaay la ko te ni nga ko bëggee noonu lañ koy defee.
Gis nga yow da nga muus gis nga lii waxuma la man rek waaye ku nekk daf ko war a ut.
Maa la wax loolu.
lii jaaduwul rek ci place yi dafa jaadu ci kër yi jaadu ci béréb liggéeykaay compagnie yu mag yi.
te boo ko amee nag te sa préjo sa xel dafay dal.
wax dëgg yàlla
te ñëpp a ko
bari na ñuy dox foog ne ñu ngi feebar te ragal a dem lopitaan.
maa la wax lii de
jërëjëf yow dama la yàgg a bëgg a waaye tey la rawati nag.
boo paree dem fa ñu jaay la ko boo àggee rek ñu dul la ko.
A resident of Talini is the person behind the initiative.
Hello, this is Gambia24 with me, Sohna Tunkara. Let's look at our news bulletin. Gambian President requests extension of ECOMIG forces mandate. The Gambia's Justice Minister is expected to do the first reading of the new draft constitution. Vendors cancel major sit-down strike across markets. These and more coming up on Gambia24. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. President Adama Barrow on Monday addressed the 57th ECOWAS Ordinary Session in Nigerian capital Niamey, where he requested the extension of the mandate of a West African intervention force in the Gambia. The day-long summit focused on the political, economic and health challenges confronting the sub-region. Omar Toure has more.
President Adama Barrow has requested for an extension of the mandate of West African forces in the Gambia, saying the country's democracy was fragile and needed protection. Barrow told the 57th Ordinary Session of ECOWAS held on Monday in Niger, where leaders discussed political and security issues, that Gambia's security sector reform process remains sensitive.
Given the reforms underway and the need to protect the fragile democracy in the Gambia, I avail myself this privilege to request for the extension of the mandate of ECOMIG in the Gambia. It should be noted that our security sector reform is at an advanced stage, and for the first time, an audit exercise has been conducted in the Army and a policy developed.
The Gambian leader further stated that the previous government had molded the security apparatus of the Gambia to serve as a repressive mechanism. Barrow said a range of uncertainties, including right-sizing and profiling the armed forces, matters of disarmament and demobilization of troops remain complicated. The Gambian leader said the extension of the ECOMIG mandate will be a stabilizing factor and will provide the required capacity building support for the viable implementation of the security sector reforms. The West African forces helped enforce Adama Barrow's election in 2016 after former President Yahya Jammeh refused to step down. Their mandate has been extended several times since the first in June 2017. ECOWAS leaders met in person for the first time since the coronavirus outbreak on West Africa to discuss political, economic and health issues affecting the sub-region. They also elected Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo as the bloc's new chairman and appealed for a swift transition to civilian rule in Mali, following the August 18 military coup. Speaking on the situation in Mali, President Adama Barrow said there is a need to foster a lasting solution to the political crisis in that country. The Gambian leader is returning to Banjul tomorrow afternoon. For Africa TV, Omar Ahmad Toure.
From that report by Omar Toure, joining us on the line is Said Mati Jao, a political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia. Mr. Jao, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
President Barrow told ECOWAS today that the mandate of ECOMIG forces needed an extension because the country's democracy was fragile and needed protection. After 3 years, how significant has ECOMIG been in Gambia's stabilization process following the 2017 political impasse?
I mean, I think the role of ECOMIG cannot be overemphasized. They have played a very vital role in ensuring that the views and what the people wanted in 2016 was restored. And since then they have been jointly supporting the Gambian security services, particularly the military, in joint patrols, but also ensuring that there is security and transparency, and most importantly, providing security to President Barrow. And so since 2017, their role has been really significant, and I think they've also supported. Especially the Ghanaian contingent have supported in the healthcare system, and those are all commendable initiatives.
ECOMIG's mandate has been extended several times now. How long do you think the Gambia will need outside forces to maintain its peace and security?
Well, for me, I think what ECOWAS or ECOMIG need right now is to draw an exit plan, because, of course, the longevity of foreign troops will, in the long run, begin to raise questions that our government is not yet answering or trying to even entertain. And so for me personally, I feel our security services are ready to take over from where ECOMIG has stopped. But in fact, they have not been left in the discussion. So for me, basically, ECOMIG needs to start drawing an exit plan, and perhaps this would be the last extension if it goes through.
So, Barrow said a range of uncertainties, including right-sizing and profiling the armed forces, matters of disarmament and demobilization of troops remain complicated. Would you say the Gambian army is still as politicized as it was under Jammeh?
Well, I disagree with the fact that, that this current government has politicized the issue of security sector reform to an extent that you don't even know what is there. I mean, this is 3 years when we're talking about security sector reform. It's 3 years, and there's nothing that Barrow's government can solve for that. So the fragility and all these issues that he has raised is his own doing, because basically what is required in the security sector right now is political leadership. And so far in the SSR process, there is less political leadership, and so that's why it is taken. For me, I don't think the security service, especially the military, needs to take that long to reform them. And when we talk about security sector reform, we're not talking about cutting down only. That is one aspect of it. But the broader aspect is, what is the vision of the country? What kind of a security installation, what kind of security institutions do we want to have? And that has to come from the political leadership. And so far, nothing tangible is coming from that. Of course, there is a national security policy, national security strategy, but then what makes those documents moving is the political will of the government. And so far, we are seeing those things missing. Therefore, the fragility is Barrow's doing. And today, if he assumes his role as the commander-in-chief, I am sure these issues will go away soon.
Thank you so much. That was said Mati Jawa, a political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia. Now, moving on, Gambia experienced its longest and heaviest downpour from Friday to Saturday. iAfrica TV visited Latrikunda and Serekunda markets and residential places in Ibo Town, a large settlement on watercourses. More in this report by Maria Macham.
The rains, which lasted for more than 24 hours, has affected many people and places in the Gambia, with homes and markets flooded and roads rendered inaccessible. Flamin Sanyang, a resident of Ibo Town, said she has never seen such a long and heavy rain and the resulting flooding over the weekend.
This situation is new to me. This is what we saw this year. We normally have floods, but not this serious, because this rain is too much. The water is not flowing anymore due to the one direction of the waterway, and this is really disturbing us. The water normally runs out of our compound, but the rain is very heavy.
Elizabeth Sad, also a resident of Ibo Town, saw her parlor and bedroom flooded with water.
This
is how we live during the raining season. Sometimes a machine will help us to reduce the water. My house is overflooded, being it in the sitting room or the small room. We really need help.
Francis Gomez, commonly known as Tecito, knows that Ibo Town is situated on watercourses and gets easily flooded whenever it rains. Francis has a water pumping machine and helps people pump water out of their houses.
The was too much, really.
The rain was too much, and Ibo Town, it's a waterway, and it's disturbing many people. This is not something new, because my house, we normally have stagnant water, but I created a machine that would drill the water out since the former regime. Sometimes, end of the year, I drill water for people with my machine for free. They only buy fuel.
The Latrikunda market has also been inundated with water and has not been open for business on Sunday as shops closed in observance of COVID-19 regulations. The same was for the Serekunda market. The month of September is known for bringing heavy rains, accompanied by windstorms, lightning and thunder. These are the rains that destroy properties, lives and livelihoods. iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
Mariama Cham on Gambians experiencing heavy rainfall. The Gambia Market Union's planned strike has been temporarily suspended after a meeting with government officials last week. Vendors in major markets in the Gambia planned a sit-down strike on Monday against COVID-19 regulations that limit operating hours for food and non-food item sellers. More in this report.
On Friday, government officials and market union leaders had a meeting in which an agreement was reached to cancel the planned protest. Dudun Jai, a member of the market union committee, told iAfrica TV on Monday that they are waiting to hear from the Minister of Interior after the weekend meeting.
Demba mom alhamdulillah luñ espegon moy ne mit Interior Minister muy Sonko.
We had promising talks with Interior Minister Usman Sonko yesterday after he visited us here at the market. Our expectation were to meet with him, and thank God our discussion went well. He promised to get back to us after the meeting with executives on Monday.
Mr. Njai said the committee are resolute in their decision despite assurances from the minister of a breakthrough. He outlined their commitment to fight for the interests of their members, but hopes there would be a positive outcome in today's meeting.
Expect nañ ko in a sense ne ñun comme ministre bi mom mo bay soxlam.
Our expectations are very positive, considering the minister left all he was doing to visit us here at the market to discuss with us. That shows he is a good and responsible leader. He assured us that he will amicably deal with the matter and come back with positive message for us. But we also inform him of our intent to go ahead with our plans if our demands are not met, as we cannot afford to fail the people behind us. We ask them to issue a statement to inform the public of our discussion as we await the outcome of their meeting.
The Ministerial Committee on the COVID-19 pandemic under the leadership of the Vice President, Dr. Aïssata Touré, are expected to sit over the matter for an appropriate response to the market leaders' demands. The Gambia government said its COVID-19 regulations are meant to curb the spread of the virus, but market vendors argue that the rules cripple businesses and shut down income.
And strike by market vendors has been temporarily suspended after a truce meeting with the government. Now, proceeds from an online fundraiser will be given to imams in Talinding in appreciation of their roles in the society and as a social safety net for the coronavirus pandemic. Omar Toure has more of that in this report.
Fatungom, a resident of Talinding, is the person behind the initiative. Assistance to the imams will be in the form of cash and food items.
If I get what I am looking for from people and have support from people, I intend to give them rice and money if it is enough.
Imam Cham of Nemakunku welcomes the initiative. Such an initiative is helping Islam, he said. Cham also encouraged Muslims to be giving out charity.
Imam yi ñoo taxawé diine Islam. Bo déggé diine Islam rek Imam la.
Imam is not paid. I have not seen here in the Gambia where an imam is paid. So whoever gets up and provide assistance to the imam, I am telling her that she is not helping the imams, but she is helping the religion of Islam.
Ababakar Mbai, a teacher and an imam at NTC Mosque in Lamen, also hailed the initiative, saying imams play a crucial role in the fight against COVID-19.
Ndax ñu nit ci society bi lañ bokk ak nit ñi ci xeex bi nga xam ne ñu ngi koy def.
We are part of the society and we join with people in the fight that we are doing. And we sensitize people a lot, but nobody cares about us.
Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the Gambia, several people and organizations have launched initiatives to get cash or food to vulnerable people. For iAfrica TV, Omar Ahmad Toure.
Gambia's Justice Minister is expected to do the first reading of the country's new draft constitution on the 14th of September during the third ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2020 legislative year. Juldenjai Sware has more.
Lawmakers are gearing up for the third ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2020 legislative year on Monday, beginning with the matters of the country's new draft constitution. The first reading of the bill will be done by the Minister of Justice, according to Standing Order 65 of the National Assembly. Parliamentarians will debate on general merits and principles of the bill on September 15, after the second reading by the Minister of Justice. The bill is expected to be taken to a committee stage, which will take months, but it is likely that the third reading of the draft constitution will be done during the fourth ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2020 legislative year. It could be recalled that the government of the Gambia gazetted the country's draft constitution in May, ahead of the much anticipated referendum to bring about a third republic of the West African state. The draft constitution was submitted to the presidency by the Constitutional Review Commission earlier this year for consideration and passage to the country's lawmaking body. From the National Assembly, the new constitution will go through a referendum and when adopted, will usher in a third republic. For iAfrica News, I am Julde Njai Suare.
The first reading of the new draft constitution is expected this month. Now, on Sunday, a truck accidentally slipped while in the process of boarding a ferry at the Banjul terminal. The unfortunate incident led to the stumbling of valuable goods into the sea, disrupting ferry service for more than 1 hour. Ibrahim John tells us more.
Gambia Ports Authority Ferry Service Department is launching an investigation into Sunday's accident, which delayed services for more than an hour. A truck destined for northern Senegal had its chassis side-slipped, which saw goods fall overboard into the sea. The truck's chassis is old, according to Kemo Danso, a staff of the GPA Ferries Department. He told iAfrica TV that a full investigation will be launched.
It is an old one, but we knew that after the accident, because for us, we don't know that the vehicle is at that condition because we are not mechanic. But actually, after the accident, we understand the case is an old one. Yeah, no, this type is the first time I saw this time. We do have some breakdowns on the rams. That will be mechanical breakdowns and so forth. But this type of accidents, since I start work, this is the first time I witness it.
While the immediate causes of the accident are unknown, Omar Cisse, the president of the Gambia Transport Union, said it may be as a result of the nature of the old ram at the terminal.
So I want to let you the press know how police report be. Expert on this, they will help us what is the cost of accident. But for me, many people involved, cost an accident.
Mori Job, the truck driver, said that after weighing his vehicle, he drove to enter the ferry and suddenly the ramp went down, causing his vehicle to go sideways. Job insisted that overloading is not the reason for the accident. While the GPA officials think the truck's old chassis may be the cause of the accident, the truck driver, on the other hand, thinks the condition of the ram led to the accident. Reporting for iAfrica TV, I am Ibrahim John.
From that story by Ibrahim John, and next on to our COVID-19 update. The Gambia recorded 46 new cases on Sunday, taking the total number of COVID-19 cases in the country to 3,197. The ages of the new cases are between 0 and 67 years. There are currently 1,773 active cases, according to the Ministry of Health. With 9 new recoveries, the total number of people who have recovered from the virus is now 1,324. No one has been newly taken into quarantine and no new discharges were made. The country currently has 129 people in quarantine. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 deaths remain 99. Now, with that brings this Gambia edition, this Gambia24 to an end. With me, Sana Tunkara. Please do join my colleague Ibrahim again with the news in Wolof shortly. Good evening.